Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So, in my last video that I did with my mom, I asked you guys in the comments whether you wanted to see Mexican food or In-N-Out, and Mexican food won by like a lot. So today I'm going to be doing Mexican food. I have a burrito just with like regular stuff like veggies, beans, rice, cheese, sour cream. And then I got it wet and cheesy, so it has like the sauce and cheese on the top. So that's what it looks like. It looks so good. And then I also got some enchiladas with rice and beans. It's going to be kind of hard to show you guys. So yeah, it looks like salad, but it's not. Oops, the beans are going to fall out. The stuff right here is actually enchiladas underneath. So this looks probably going to be kind of hard to eat. So excuse me if I make a huge mess. But, you know, we're just going to go for it. And then also, I'm going to be telling a story time about the other time I got in a fight. But it's going to be like a really long story. So I think that I'm just going to cut it into 2 different videos. So this video will be like the background information of like, because there's a lot of stuff that happened between me and this girl, so I want to like tell the background information and then kind of tell the story about the actual fight. So yeah. Got my utensils. Oh my god, this looks so good. Ah, you're lying. Wow, I'm like dying right now. That's so good. I got it from this place called Rancho Bravo Tacos in Seattle. If you're from Seattle, you probably know of it because it's pretty popular. Okay, so for the story, let's get started on that because I don't want to talk too much. So basically the girl that I fought was the girl that my ex cheated on me with, but it wasn't because he cheated on me with her. Like, I'm not the type where I hate the girl because the guy did like a shitty thing. There's like a lot more stuff that went into the story. Me and my ex were on and off for like, so we started dating my junior year of high school, and then this story happened my sophomore year of college. So we had been on and off for, I don't know, like 3 years at that point, I think. Yeah, 3 years. And he, like, we ended up breaking up again the summer before my sophomore year. So we broke up that August, and then we eventually got back together in end of October. And while we were broken up, he started seeing this girl. I'll call her Maddie. These are like stuffed with cheese, like literally. This is all cheese in here. So when he was seeing the girl, like when we got back together, he basically just told her like, you know, I can't talk to you anymore because like he was like, I'm still in love with my ex, and like I want to get her back, and like, you know, I want to work on us. And so I remember him showing me the screenshots of the, like, because he texted her this, and I remember him showing me or sending me screenshots of what he was sending her. And it was kind of weird because like I kind of got red flags right away from her, because in the screenshots, like, they had been talking for like less than a month, I think. Yeah, less than a month. And in the screenshot, she was like, how could you do this to me? Like, you're such a horrible person. Like, just freaking out on him. And for me, if I'm talking to a guy for less than a month and he ends things with me, like, I'm not gonna go off on him and like act like he's breaking my heart. You know what I mean? Especially because he said that they wouldn't like go out anywhere. It was like they would just chill at her place. So it was kind of like a hookup thing. And I don't know, the fact that she was like freaking out, I was like, that's kind of weird. But I didn't really think anything of it because I was like, okay, well, I won't have to deal with her again. You know what I mean? Like, he ended things with her. She's out of his life. She's out of my life. Like, everything is good. But then, me and my ex were okay. So after he sent her those texts, like, me and him started dating again. Obviously, we were okay for like 3 weeks maybe, but like we always did. We were like one of those crazy annoying couples that like always broke up. So we broke up again, or we got in an argument. And I guess when we got in the argument, he hit her up again to like hang out. Because he's a douche, but that's a whole other story. So that was my second red flag for her, because even though like he literally texted her and was like, I'm still in love with my ex, then he hits you up 2 weeks later and you're like, oh, okay, let's hang out. And you're like down. If a guy texted me that he was still in love with his ex and he didn't want to see me anymore, and then he hit me up like a couple weeks later wanting to see me, I would be like, no, like, fuck off, you know what I mean? But so I guess like they started hanging out again, but then even though when they were hanging out, then me and him got back together. So basically he was talking to both of us at the same time, because he didn't end things with her right away when me and him got back together. So he was cheating on me with her for probably like, oh, I don't even know, like maybe a week. It wasn't that long. But then one day I post something about him on my Tumblr, and I guess she knew my Tumblr because she had asked my ex for it, which is also weird. Like, I don't know why you want to check up on me when like I don't know you, you know what I mean? And so I guess she was looking at my Tumblr and she saw that I posted something about him. And that's what she told me. She told me that she saw that I posted about him, and so then she found out we were dating and wanted to message me, because that's how she found out that he was cheating on both of us, which I'll get into that was a lie. But so she messages me and she's like, hey, it's Maddie, the girl that, oh, I just said his name. The girl that, I'll call my ex, I'll just say my ex. The girl that my ex was talking to. Basically, she was saying that she found out that me and him were dating from my post, and she was like, he's been cheating on like you the whole time, like me and him have been seeing each other for like the past week or so, blah blah blah. And so I asked her to text me because I'm like, I don't want to message about this back and forth. And so basically we're like texting, and she's just telling me that like, yeah, he's stayed the night at her house a couple times in the past week. Which I was already kind of suspicious about. Like, I kind of knew he was doing something, because there would be nights where I would try calling him and he like wouldn't answer. But like we were also just constantly fighting, so it wasn't like a big deal, I guess. So she basically is like, yeah, he was cheating on you, and I didn't know the whole time you guys were dating. Like, he told me you guys weren't dating anymore. And I remember when she was texting me, like, my sister is the one that actually pointed this out, but when she was texting me, like, she was kind of making it all about herself. She was like, yeah, it's extra bad because I'm so brokenhearted because I just got out of a relationship where I was cheated on, and, you know, your ex is the craziest person I've ever met. He's a crazy liar. Like, making it seem like she was the one who had been in a relationship for 3 years and got cheated on. Like, no. For me, if I was talking to a girl who her ex had cheated on her with me, I'd be like, are you okay? Do you need anything? But I was like, whatever. It's still nice that she messaged me, and she seems to be a nice person, you know. I was like grateful that she had let me know what was going on. And then when we're texting, she also like asked me if I was 21 yet, and if I wanted to go to the bars with her and stuff. And it was when I wasn't even 21, but like it was one of those things where I was like, sure, like we'll hang out, but I didn't really want to hang out with her just because it would feel kind of weird to hang out with the girl that my ex had cheated on me with, like when I was so hurt about it, you know. Like, I wasn't mad at her for it at the time, but I also just wasn't ready to like hang out with her, you know. And so nothing really happens for a while. Like, me and my ex break up, obviously, and then okay, you guys are gonna hate me, but I got back together with him. If you want, I can do like a whole different video about like our relationship and how crazy it was and how like I'm just glad to be out of it. But yeah, so eventually, like a month and a half maybe later, we got back together. At that point, me and her were following each other on Instagram and Snapchat, but we weren't really friends. But then we ended up having the same class the next quarter. So this happened in fall. And then winter quarter, we had this class together. It was like a huge class. It was like 700 people. After the first day, she texted me and she was like, hey, are you in, it was a class about dinosaurs. She was like, are you in dinosaurs? I think I saw you. And I was like, yeah, I am. And she was like, oh, we should sit together, blah, blah. And once again, like, especially now that I was back with my ex, I didn't really want to like sit by her because that would just be weird, you know, like, okay, I'm back with him and that's how I know you. So like I said I would, and then I just never did. But I guess the whole point I'm trying to get across is that she was like actively trying to be my friend. Like, she would comment on my Instagram pictures and all that kind of stuff. And then I remember for the dinosaurs class, we also had an extra credit thing after school one day. Where you basically, we were at this museum and you had to like walk around and find answers. I forget what it was even about now, but yeah, basically you just had to like walk around and find answers for stuff. You guys, this is so good. I'm so glad that I did Mexican food because this is seriously hitting the spot. But yeah, so then I guess she had gotten there before me. And so she was like, Megan, I should call my name. She was like, Megan, do you want my answers? And I was like, yeah, sure, like that's nice of you. And so that was the first time I'd ever actually talked to her in person. And I don't know, she was being like so awkward. Like, she was really nervous for some reason. Like, you know, okay, so we put the answers on an app on our phones, and you know when you're nervous and you're like on your phone but you can't focus on what you're doing? That's what she was doing. Like, her hands were like shaking and she kept clicking on the wrong app. And she was like, what am I doing? And it was just so awkward. I was like, please just give me the answers so I can get out of here. she was like, you could just tell she was so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh. But then, so yeah, so basically the whole point of this, all these things, is that she was like really trying to be my friend, like, which turns out to be so fake. Because basically then, like a couple weeks later, pretty much when the quarter's almost over, so my ex, like, I didn't have Twitter at the time. Well, I still don't have Twitter, but I didn't have Twitter on my phone, so I didn't have the app. So when we were hanging out, his phone died, and he needed to message someone something. And so he used my Safari on my phone to sign into Twitter and message this person. And he left it signed in. He had tried showing me their messages before on Twitter, but he had deleted them off the app. But for some reason, when he signed in to my phone on Safari, the messages were still there. And so between them, like, so he had told me before, he was like, no, she knew that I was seeing you. She just didn't care. And then he was like, and the only reason why she messaged you that day is because I tried ending things with her. And I thought that he was lying to try to make himself seem better. Like, I didn't believe that he had actually tried ending things with her. But they were arguing over Twitter about it, and that's what the messages told me. Like, he wasn't lying. Like, in the messages, he was basically, like, trying to say, like, that he felt bad for cheating on me and that he just wanted to be with me and, like, not with her. And then at the end, she was like, I'm going to message her and tell her how horrible you've been and everything that you've been doing. So it's like the whole time she was acting like she had no idea me and him were together, and she did. Like, I was so shocked, just because, especially when she was texting me that day, like, she was acting like she was so hurt about it, and the whole time she knew that me and him were dating, and she just didn't care. So when I read those messages, obviously I was pissed, but I didn't say anything. Like, I was like, I don't want any drama between me and this girl. Like, me and my ex are back together. Like, she's irrelevant in my life. Like, me and her aren't friends. So, like, I was like, whatever. I just unadded her from Snapchat and, like, unfollowed her on Instagram, but I didn't block her or anything. And then a couple weeks later, me and my ex are hanging out, and he had blocked her number after, like, I found out that he cheated on me. Like, he had blocked her number. I think he blocked her on Instagram too. But me and him are hanging out, and he just looks at me and he's like, Megan, you're gonna be so pissed. And I was like, why? He was like, because Maddie just messaged me on Facebook. And I was like, what'd she say? And she messaged him. So when he blocked her number, I guess she had tried texting him, and so she found out that she had been blocked. And so she, like, obviously not the normal reaction to have when someone blocks you, but she messaged him on Facebook. And I wish I had the freaking screenshots of the Twitter conversation and the Facebook conversation, but I got a new phone and then I never backed anything up, so I don't have the screenshots for that, but I have some other screenshots that I'll insert later. So I don't have the screenshots for that, but I remember verbatim, she said, wow, you would block me. I was going to hit you up this week, but too bad you have to be a weirdo. Which, aren't you the weirdo for messaging someone who blocked you? Like, that's weird, but okay. So, I don't know why she was going to hit him up or, like, whatever, but so I'm assuming because she had gotten back with her ex, the one that she was telling me had cheated on her when we were texting. So I guess they broke up, and she wanted to hit up my ex to, like, see him again, which that just also pissed me off, because I was like, this whole time you were acting like my ex screwed you over, and now you're just going to hit him up while you're trying to be my friend, while you're actively trying to sit next to me, hang out with me, talk to me at the extra credit thing. I was pissed. But once again, I didn't do anything. Like, I had already unadded her, unfollowed her. I was like, you know, it's not worth the drama. I don't want to, like, argue with this girl. So yeah, I tried to take the high road again, but I was like, I couldn't believe how fake she was to, like, try to be my friend and, like, low-key hit at my ex on the side. Like, you're so fake. So, like a month after that, me and my ex broke up again, which that time was for good. Like, we haven't got back together since, but like a couple months go by. So that all happened in like March. Me and my ex broke up in like May or April. And a couple months go by, and my ex is like still hitting me up and stuff. Like, he still does to this day. He still messaged me on, it's been 2 years, and he still messages me on Facebook and on fake accounts. Like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so he was like still messaging me, and I was getting annoyed. So I posted this joke to Snapchat, and I was like, who wants to pretend to be my boyfriend so my ex will leave me alone? And so I had unadded her on Snapchat, but my Snapchat settings were set to where anyone can see your story if they have you added, and I guess she still had me added. So I was at work when I posted that, and then a couple hours later, I go back to check my Snapchat, and I see that someone screenshotted it, which I was like, that's kind of a weird thing to screenshot, you know? So I went to go check who it was, and it was her. And so I had this feeling, I was like, why would she screenshot that, you know? And so I went to go, her Instagram was private, and I didn't follow her, you know? But his wasn't, and so I went to go check. Like, I had to unblock him and then check so I could like look at his followers, but I was like, I wonder if they're talking. I went to his Instagram, and guess who recently followed each other? They did. So they were talking again after everything that had happened. So I block her on Snapchat, obviously. I remember when she screenshotted my Snapchat, I was so pissed. Like, I was at work, like, shaking with anger at the fact that, like, they were talking again, and it was just so corny because he was still hitting me up. And it was like, I just can't get any of these people to leave me alone. Like, just go away. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, she screenshotted my Snapchat, and that is where I will leave this story. Because there is like a lot of other stuff that happens, and as you can tell, I'm out of food, so I don't want to just keep talking and not eat. So yeah, I will continue this story next week and get into like the actual fight part of the story. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this food. I hope you guys enjoyed my story time, and I will see you in next week's video.